What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering. We've got a bonus video. I don't know. It's Saturday night. You're probably super bored. Anyone who watched this is definitely super bored. So I really appreciate it. Now, I've talked about at length the struggle for independent content creators on YouTube, especially ones that dare to cover news. We know that the deck is stacked against us, and we now have even more evidence as provided directly by YouTube in the form of analytics showing just how huge the increase of trustworthy news sources has increased over the past year. But before we get into that, look, times are tough. I know not all of you tolerate sponsored videos, but hey, they support the channels you love to watch, and I hope you'll check out this sponsor. Footmouse.
Introducing a revolution in gaming. Footmouse, the first science-based gaming mouse made for feet.
I've been using Footmouse since 2017, but not on land. There's a lot of controversy as to whether or not Footmouse should be termed legal. It's just such a huge advantage, but it's still all about skill. Footmouse just raises the skill gap. It's a whole different level of play.
Footmouse, get your foot in the game.
Well, actually, the Footmouse is sponsored by your boy, Raid Shadow Legends. That's right. You know Raid Shadow Legends. It's the dark fantasy RPG that's free to play and now available on PC and has cross-device. What do I like about Raid? Well, how about its amazing daily reward program, which is now extended from 90 days originally to 180 days. Each day you can claim free rewards from energy refills to silver, gems to shards, and a free barbarian legendary champion. Now, during all of these uncertain times, I know it's a bit of a meme, but Raid Shadow Legends has stuck by this channel and supported many of my friends as well. So if you want to check out the game, go to the description, click on the special link, and if you're a new player, you'll get 100,000 silver, 50 gems, 1 energy refill, and a free champion, the Adjudicator. You'll only find these rewards here in your inbox for the next 30 days. So follow the link in the description below, see what everyone's talking about, support Raid, support the channel, and we'll see you in there. That's right, Footmouse. Now, important point of order here. According to Reclaim the Net, mainstream news is soaring on YouTube thanks to authoritativeness ranking scores. YouTube is cementing the dominance of major news networks. Now, this is no surprise. This is along the exact same lines as comedy YouTubers having to compete against late night show clips, which are even worse now. My entire homepage is generally filled with them, although there is a plugin called De-Mainstream YouTube that has helped with that. The report reads, YouTube is emerging as a powerful broadcaster in the times of the COOF, with its 2 billion users more than ever turning to the platform to consume news. According to YouTube Chief Product Officer Neil Mohan, views of videos classified as news increased 75% year on year. In an interview with Bloomberg TV, he attributed this global health COOF and people attempting to find out what's happening. And what we see and learn on YouTube is tightly controlled. The giant surfaces content using algorithms and effectively human editors, while the goal is to establish how, quote, authoritative a news source is and promote it. Now, this is not uncommon. The increase in consumption of news on the platform isn't necessarily a MSM thing only. All views across the platform seem to be up. My views are up significantly the past week or two. Even though earnings are way down, views are way up because, you know, 2/3 of the nation here in America are stuck at home and bored. Now, the news is getting a lion's share of people covering that because they are pushed to the top by YouTube. Just like Mohan didn't disclose The exact number of views contained in the 75% increase, YouTube doesn't share its authoritativeness ranking sources. When it comes to the COOF-related news, YouTube has introduced a set of stringent rules that it keeps updating, banning anything from content suspected of encouraging people not to stay indoors to videos mentioning 5G networking technology and connection. The company will also not allow videos downplaying the situation. Fear only, panic only, YouTube.com. According to Mohan, thousands of videos have already been removed for violating the platform's rules around the COOF. On top of that, YouTube visitors are being directed towards government sources thanks to what's described as the information panel, which has received 10 billion views. Now, the information panel, I don't know if there's a screenshot of it here. It doesn't. Oh, it's a small one. But if it's a video on the COOF, you'll usually see this type of box below it, which I think is a fine idea. I don't necessarily have a problem with it, honestly. However, the massive increase in views does not mean more advertising dollars, as companies are spending less due to everything going on right now. This is not good news, particularly for smaller independent creators like myself and Styx Hexenhammer, Sargon, people like that. But independent YouTube news commentators already have the platform playing against them as they don't fit into the, quote, authoritativeness model. Look at a channel like Styx Hexenhammer, relatively providing 3 to 4 videos a day, every single day, and it's nearly impossible for him to gain subscribers. I wonder why that might be. YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki had no problem spelling it out when she said that while the independent YouTubers are allowed to post news content, quote, "we are not going to recommend that when there's breaking news." Shocking. Instead, viewers are steered towards, quote, "companies that we know have a long tradition of delivering reliable news." You know, like CNN, which went endlessly on about Russia, and all these other mainstream news, Fox, MSNBC, have all had their public embarrassments, but it doesn't matter because why? They pay money. Another big part of this, by the way, is not just that these news sources are, in their opinion, authoritative, which I strongly disagree with. It is also that the product that they upload to YouTube has already been scrubbed by the FCC. And so they know that it already adheres to most mainstream advertising standards, which is why shows like Conan or The Late Show or CNN or Fox News can upload endless clips to this platform, all monetized and with the best possible ads like Coca-Cola or Pepsi or Hollywood movies, Disney movies, things like that. That's why when they said for the longest time, oh, well, we're not going to monetize videos that cover really bad events, but Jimmy Kimmel's up there doing it every night and running nonstop mid-roll ads. It's a standard that it's rules for thee, but not for me. This kind of treatment might eventually lead independent creators to seriously consider diversifying by joining one of the alternatives that have been springing up. Although, don't hold your breath, as many creators still see YouTube as too powerful to consider an alternative. Well, this is obviously a problem. I've talked at length about people embracing alternate technology. My BitChute channel has over, 20,000 subscribers already. It's... When you have people like Chris Raygun saying, well, nobody goes to BitChute, it has 21,000 subscribers and I never promote it. And my videos there regularly get 1,000 to 2,000 views. 1,700, here's 800, so some lighter ones, but 1,000, here's 2,100, 1,300. So here I also get about 10% of my total subscriber base in daily views. If you have a YouTube channel and you haven't connected to BitChute, please do it. If you have a YouTube channel and you haven't connected to library.io, please do it. If you don't use Brighteon or Dailymotion, make a point to at least make your videos available on these platforms. One day, they'll be our only option. And I'm not saying that to be scary or alarmist, but if you're somebody that covers spicy news, for example, you are likely to, at minimum, be shadow banned. I am shocked that my channel is still growing, even though it's at a much slower rate. than it used to. Guys like Styx Hexenhammer, they're going to maintain their audience. I'll probably maintain my core audience for a couple of years as long as I continue to deliver what they're asking for. But growth is really still on these alternative platforms. It's very difficult to grow on YouTube, especially if you're a commentary and news channel, because you're competing against mainstream media, which the deck is stacked against you. You're competing against late night show hosts who cover entertainment news, and you're competing against YouTube and the algorithm, which is set to deprioritize you as a content creator. But that isn't reason, and I'm going to say this again, that isn't reason to just quit YouTube. People will say just leave YouTube, but that is dumb. No, don't leave YouTube. Don't leave Twitter. Don't leave Facebook. Stay there and fight, but promote alternatives like Minds.com. Stay there. Build an audience and always inform them that there are alternatives. Because if everyone just leaves, then nobody will find out about these alternatives. If everyone just stops using Twitter, then no one will ever find out about Minds.com. You have to stay, you have to fight, you have to build your audience. It is extremely powerful to continue to do that, and it is just foolish to throw up your hands and leave. There was a time when I was just going to leave Twitter. I said it very publicly, and then I returned because, quite honestly, you have to stay. You have to stay and fight, and you have to keep your presence there and allow yourself to be an avenue in which to promote alternatives. People that love Twitter and agree with their censorious behavior are never going to talk about alternative platforms. People that love YouTube and don't see any problem with them suppressing independent news are never going to talk about BitChute. They're never going to talk about Brighteon or whatever these other alternatives are. Never talk about library. They're never going to talk about alternate social media. They're never going to talk about this stuff because they're one of them. You stay, you fight, you inform, and you claw, and you struggle as long as you can until they eventually remove you by force, and then you'll have something to fall back on. And hopefully others will have done the same thing so that when you go to be, let's say, a BitChute only creator or whatever the new thing is, an audience will be there waiting, and they will remember that you paid attention since the start. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.